Therefore, if we want to develop our human capital, we just have to do a lot of investment in our school system. This could be by way of budgetary allocation to schools, by way of extra budgetary allocation to schools, by doing on-stop training, adult study program, and so on.
Development partners like the DFID and the World Bank representatives in the expanded session of the National Economic Council insist that the most valuable asset a country has is its people. With the rise in population figure and even future prediction of Nigeria becoming the third most populous nation by 2050, there are fears that without a healthy and educated workforce, development and growth will be impeded.
This population growth has major implications for the coming decades. To benefit from a demographic dividend, action is needed today to build the health and education services to create a healthy, educated and productive workforce to drive Nigeria's economy forward tomorrow. If there is appropriate investment, Nigeria could transition from lower to higher middle-income country in 40 years. This requires investing in more ambitious education policies, child spacing, good governance, and progressive economic policies. We have overwhelming international evidence that health improvements stimulate economic development in a country. We've already heard this morning about education, but we can also look at health. A full 24% of the growth in full income in low and middle income countries between 2000 and 2011 has resulted from health improvements. That's what the international data tells us, 24%. Investing in human capital offers impressive rates of return, as the Honourable Minister of Health has already said this morning. Some of these are much greater than other types of investment. For example, we know that here in Nigeria, the average return of an additional year of schooling is 10%. We know that investing every dollar in vaccines and vaccinations results in a return of $23. We know that investing a dollar in nutrition provides economic returns of $16. So my argument here today is that Nigeria cannot afford not to invest in human capital for its long-term growth, for its long-term prosperity. A healthy, well-nourished and well-educated population with the skills to access jobs and improve livelihoods is a fundamental building block of economic success.
American business magnate, investor, and philanthropist Bill Gates is concerned about a healthy and productive life for people, particularly in Africa. In Nigeria alone, Bill Gates says a whopping $1.6 billion has been committed to the country so far by his foundation.
Nigeria's per capita GDP shows where those dreams and ambitions can lead. With the exception of the recent recession, the slope goes up. As a result of this growth, Nigeria is now the biggest economy on the continent. You're rapidly approaching middle-income status like Brazil, China, and Mexico. But growth is not inevitable. Nigeria has unmatched economic potential, but what becomes of that potential depends on the choices you make as Nigeria's leaders. The most important choice you can make is to maximize your greatest resource, the Nigerian people. Nigeria will thrive when every Nigerian is able to thrive. If you invest in their health, education, and opportunities, the human capital that we're talking about today, then that will lay the foundation for sustained prosperity. If you don't, however, it is important to recognize there'll be a sharp limit on how much the country can grow. We see this risk in the data. From the point of view of quality of life, much of Nigeria still looks like a low-income country. Let me give a few examples. In middle-income countries, the average life expectancy is 75 years. In lower middle income, it's 68. In low-income countries, it's 62. In Nigeria, it's lower still, just 53 years. Nigeria is one of the most dangerous places in the world to give birth, with the fourth worst maternal mortality rate in the world, ahead of only Sierra Leone, Central African Republic, and Chad. 1 in 3 Nigerian children is chronically malnourished. It may not be polite to speak so bluntly when you've always been so gracious to me, but I'm applying an important lesson I learned with Aliko Dangote. Recently, Aliko and I were having a conversation with governors about their state's official immunization rates. Aliko's way of stressing the importance of accurate data was to tell us, I didn't get successful by pretending to sell bags of cement I didn't have. I took from that while it may be easier to be polite, it's important to face facts so that you can make progress.
Bill speaks about his reservation on the economic recovery growth plan of the Nigerian government to stabilize the economy. He insists the implementation does not reflect the people's needs.
The Nigerian government's economic recovery and growth plan identifies investing in our people as one of 3 strategic objectives. But the execution priorities don't fully reflect people's needs. Prioritizing physical capital over human capital with a very limited government budget. To anchor the economy over the long term, investment in infrastructure must go hand in hand with investments in people. People without roads, ports, and factories can't flourish, but roads, ports, and factories without skilled workers to build and manage them can't sustain the economy. By investing in people, I mean prioritizing health and education, the factors included in the model I just showed. It also means opening up opportunities in agriculture and microenterprise sectors, as the government has proposed in the ERGP. It means creating conditions where Nigerians can reach their goals while adding value to the economy.